Welcome to Etrain's Wicked Good Picks. These picks aren't abysmal. These picks aren't tragic. These picks are wicked good. In today's episode, we're going to dive into NFL Week 15, my thoughts on every game. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. At this point in the season, there's a lot of can't bet on teams based on their track record. And a lot of teams have some horrible injuries where it's really hard for me to get a read in these games. So at this point in the year, a lot of games are just straight passes. The lines are too sketchy. So, Thursday Night Football, as you know, is happening right now. That's a hard pass, but anyway, let's get right on to the Saturday games. There's 3 Saturday games this week. In the first one, we've got Minnesota at Cincinnati. Pass. I don't know how 2 backup quarterbacks, don't really know how they play. Could go over, could go under. Don't know. The next Saturday game is Pittsburgh at Indy. This one, I really like the under. Maybe I'm crazy, but this should be in the high 30s, not the low 40s. It's Mitch Trubisky versus Gardner Minshew. I think Pittsburgh defense will stifle Minshew, and Trubisky will struggle again just because he sucks, not because the Colts D is that good. So, under in this game. The next Saturday game is Denver at Detroit. Denver's sneaky, man. If you remember when they gave up 70 points and the worst team in the history of football, it feels like a long time ago. Denver playing really good. Detroit not playing so hot lately. I have a hard time picking a side because this is a hard bounce back spot for Detroit. Wouldn't shock me. I also have a sketchy time picking them, though, because Dan Campbell was a Saints coach under Sean Payton way back in the day. This is kind of like a teacher versus student. So I'm leaning toward fading the Detroit defense. I like Russell Wilson overs. I like Courtland Sutton overs. Excuse me. On to the Sunday 1 o'clock games. Now, please, if you're this far, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, comment what you think about this slate's game. I think it's the worst week of slates. Worst week of games, or slate of games. I can't talk. This is going to be my lowest volume week of the NFL season so far. It's not even close, I can already tell you. So the first game is the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to face the New England Patriots. I like the Kansas City Chiefs team total under in this one. I don't know. Kansas City and Pat Mahomes complaining and blowing up on the sidelines over the offsides call. It's a bad look. To me, that's a boiling point of frustration where he's been frustrated with the offense's mistakes all year, and now it's finally blown up. That's a fade team. However, it's New England. It's really hard to bet on the Patriots with Bailey Zappi. However, I can bet on New England's defense. So I like Kansas City team total under. The next game up, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins. Pass. Dolphins really befuddled me on Monday night, and the Jets somehow scored 30 points and a half. So I'm really reeling from those 2 results. So pass on this game. Next game up, Houston traveling to Tennessee. This is a big divisional matchup. A lot could be decided by this, but I'm passing. I don't know. It's C.J. Stroud versus Will Levis. A lot of Houston's weapons are banged up. I can't bet on either of those teams. The next game up is the Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to Lambeau Field to play the Packers. I like Packers minus the points here. I think the Packers face the Giants off a bye. They were kind of a little fat and happy. I think there was a humbling loss. I think the Buccaneers somehow beat the Falcons, but if you actually watch that game, Tampa Bay didn't play that great. So I like Green Bay to win by a good margin here. The next game up is the Giants at the Saints. I hate the Saints. Saints are horrible. Giants with the points. Let's get that Tommy DeVito, baby. The next game up is the Panthers at home versus the Falcons. This is a hard pass. I can't bet on Carolina. They're god awful. They're like having a fire sale on their coaches. And I can't bet on the Falcons because they just zig when they should zag and zag when they should zig. And I can't figure this team out. And if I can't figure you out in week 15, pass. I can bet on NBA games. I can bet on college basketball. I can bet. No, I don't. Nope. Pass. No, thank you. The Chicago Bears travel to the dog pound to face the Cleveland Browns. I like the under in this game. I also like Cleveland minus the points. Joe Flacco, man, is all of a sudden kind of galvanized this team. Sneaky good. The team seems to like him, seems to trust him. Chicago, I think, is getting a little full of themselves. And I think they're fat and happy off a win versus Detroit. Big letdown. I think Cleveland wins. Now, on to the 4 o'clock games. We've got the 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. This is going to sound crazy, but I have the Cardinals plus the points. The Cardinals are coming off their bye week. They have no real goal as far as, because tanking is the number one pick is out of the reach. So they might as well try to give the 49ers hell. I think they might. I don't think they're going to win outright, but plus the points. I like the Arizona Cardinals. The Washington Commanders play in LA versus the Rams. I like the Rams minus the point. Now, I know I just said the Cardinals were off a bye and the Commanders were off a bye, but the Commanders are all sell signs, all bet fade signs. You hear the quotes from the locker room. They're talking about the season in the past tense. I can't bet on Washington. So Rams minus the points. Then we've got probably the most interesting game of the whole week, I think, is the Dallas Cowboys playing in the great northeast of Buffalo. This is a pass for me. Buffalo, to me, is out of the bye, beat the Chiefs, and is focused. I think they see that if they just take this season 1 week at a time from here on out, they can actually make the Super Bowl. So it's really hard for me to bet against Buffalo. I think they're getting healthy at the right time. Their defense is getting pieces back. But Dallas is a goddamn wagon, dude. I mean, if you've watched the last few Dallas games, they are just executing on all 3 phases really well. Their kicker can't miss. Their offense doesn't stop. Their defense is consistently rushing the passer. It's impossible to bet against them. So I have 2 really good teams that I can't bet against them. So I'm just passing on this game altogether. But I'm going to get my popcorn ready, and I'm going to love to watch this game. Now, on to the night games. We have Baltimore playing in Jacksonville. This is a sketchy one, man. The side, I go back and forth, but I like the over. Jacksonville is giving up points to everybody. I think both teams get into the 20s, and this is in the low 40s. I think it gets well over. In the final game of the week, Monday Night Football, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. This is a really tricky one. These are 2 teams that are both the last few weeks, and it's really hard to pick one, but I'll pick the over because both defenses are playing terrible. So I like if Geno Smith plays or whoever the hell their backup is, I think Seattle can get into the 20s, and I think Philly's definitely gets in the 20s, so this goes well over. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you're betting this week. All right, thanks for tuning in.